Okay, let's see how to apply the concept that we discussed moments ago, okay? Remember, like we want to craft smart prompts because if we use LLMs such as Claude, OpenAI, and DeepSeek, and any other one, Gemini, by just asking them, give me this thing, we will never get the result that we want. Because if we supply, let's put it that way, if you send as input, if you write down trash, you will receive a trash answer in return. I'm exaggerating, of course, but this is the concept, okay? So I prepared a couple of examples that we're gonna see very soon, but let's start with a really important one. No, I know that you are all builders, founders, startup investors perhaps, or entrepreneurs, both successful and newcomers, okay? I'm quite sure that at some point in your life, you might need to create a pitch deck. And I prepared, just for you, I prepared a dumb use case for an investor pitch deck. And the prompt will be something like, create a pitch deck for my fintech startup that automates invoice financing for SMBs, okay? And I've already supplied this prompt into Claude, and here we're gonna look at the output in a second, and onto ChatGPT. Let's start from ChatGPT, okay? So when I enter this prompt, this is what I get. I get, sure, here's a 12-slide pitch deck outline tailored for you, for your fintech startup that automates invoice financing, okay? And then we get a bunch of slides saying startup name, okay, we have some placeholders, we have a description of the problem. This is already weird because all we said is this, right? And then ChatGPT wants to give us an answer and kind of create some placeholder text, but we're not sure that the information here is, first of all, real or relevant, okay? 60% of invoices are paid late, traditional financing is low. Then it talks about the opportunity, 3 trillion global invoice financing market, the solution, upload or sync invoices, what? Risk assessed by AI, plus open banking data, things like that. Slide 5, how it works. Simple, seamless, scalable. It gives us this very generic output, but it still tries to do it, okay? Go-to-market strategy, team, financial projections, without knowing at all anything related to without knowing anything about the context, about our company, about who we're going to present this pitch deck to, okay? If we do the same identical thing in Claude, we get a much better output, but still an output that is connected to a dumb prompt. Claude is amazing for content creation. I highly recommend it, especially when it comes to text and content of any sort, content, articles, whatever. Claude gives us Claude provides us with a much better output, but it's still gonna be an output in response to a dumb prompt. As you're gonna see throughout this course, Claude is amazing for what's concerning content creation. I find it much better than OpenAI in many cases, and in fact, it already created for us a rendered presentation, which OpenAI didn't. After giving us the results, the OpenAI says, you want me to create a visual pitch deck? While Claude preceded us and already did that. On top of that, the information that the Claude puts as a placeholder information are still more reliable. It says, key highlights, problem, SMBs waiting 30, 90 days for payments, 62% struggling with cash flow, AI-powered instant funding as the solution. We never talk about that being an AI solution, by the way. 3.2 trillion global market with 30 million US SMBs, and so on and so forth. And then we have this nice presentation. It's also kind of nice, no? Visually. market opportunity, time, but the problem is that this data is absolutely incorrect. So if we present something like this, we will never be able to justify these numbers. Competitive landscape, Fundbox, Blue Wine, traditional factors, financial projections coming from where I don't know, leadership team, funding request, 15 millions, suddenly we want $15 million. And yes, you might argue that you can take this one and change it to your needs, to fit your needs and with your data. For sure you can, but you can avoid having to work on something that could have been done already, at least the majority of it, by submitting to your to ChatGPT or to Claude a smart prompt. Let's look at the smart prompt real quick. I prepared that for you. So if we scroll down, here we go. This is a smart prompt. You see, we have create a 12-slide Series A pitch deck for my B2B fintech startup that automates invoice financing for SMBs. Immediately after this sentence, we have the context. We are seeking 8 million. So we are telling the AI that we want 8 millions. We have 2 millions in annual recurring return, 40% month-over-month growth, serving 200 plus customers. We are 15 people. We previously sold to a company, we previously sold the company to PayPal. Our audience, tier 1 VCs who invested in fintech, such as Sequoia, etc. The presentation has to be a 20-minute presentation plus 10 minutes of Q&A. We have some key differentiators. AI underwriting reduces approval time from weeks to hours, 89% customer retention versus 60% industry average, already profitable unit economics. Traction highlights, the tone, confident but data-driven. You know, we have so much information that will definitely give us a much better output. Specific needs, compelling problem solution narrative, clear total addressable market breakdown, detailed unit economics slide, realistic but ambitious 5-year projections, follow standard VC format, but make the market size story compelling for investors within 100 fintech decks. And here's what happens in terms of output. Okay, I have that ready. So it's this one for ChatGPT. If you see at the top, we have this thing. That is what I just showed you. Then we have the title slide. The problem, SMBs wait 30-90 days to get paid by payroll and bills don't wait. 4.5 trillion trapped globally. Because might still be some inaccurate data that we had to check before submitting the pitch. Because remember, AI is your sound engineer, is your backstage. It's not you. You are you, so you still have responsibility. You know, you are the person that is supposed to review this deck. Meet, blah, 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 automated invoice financing for SMBs. Funds approved in hours, not weeks. It's not, you know, you see, it's taking some of our information. AI underwriting detects risk patterns faster than humans. Seamless plugin with accounting tools. Why now? So there's a bit of storytelling. The market size, product demo. This is more of a guideline for us. Traction. 2 million annual recurring revenue, which is what we said, growing 40% month to month, 200 plus active users, you see, is using our data in the pitch deck, which makes sense, right? Business model and unit economics, AI underwriting advantage, proprietary AI model built from blah, 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 50,000 plus invoices, go to market, okay? Team, is no longer trying to invent a team. Vision and ask, we're building a Stripe of SMB financing. Raising 8 million Series A, it's way more in line with our actual needs because we used a smart prompt. And if we go to Claude, the result is gonna be mind-blowing. Look at this. Here, we have the same identical prompt. We have a report of what has been created in our pitch deck that I'm gonna show you in one moment. And we have this thing where it says, okay, I created a 12-slide Series A pitch deck that positions your fintech startup for success with top-tier VCs. This is what makes this deck compelling. Key strengths, problem-focused opening, clear differentiation, compelling market story, strong traction narrative, and so on and so forth, okay? For your 20-minute presentation, spend 2-3 minutes each on problems, solutions, and market size. We also have some guidelines about how we should be handling our presentation, which is awesome, right? Deep dive on traction, 3-4 minutes, and so on and so forth. Now, shall we look at the results? Let's see if the result is as smart as our prompt. Finance Flow, AI-powered invoice financing for SMBs, $8 million Series A funding, $2 million annual recurring revenue, 40% monthly growth, which is exactly what we supplied as information here at the very beginning. And then we have some really good storytelling. The 6 trillion working capital crisis. SMBs are drowning in cash flow gaps. 82% of small businesses fail due to cash flow problems, etc., etc. Banks can solve their long tail, existing solutions are broken. Then we have the solution slide, hours not weeks, smart risk assessment, seamless integration, okay? Massive market with clear entry point, 6.8 trillion, okay? You see, that's the total addressable market, 580 billion serviceable addressable market. We have the dedicated slide that we requested here, okay? Capital efficient revenue model. You see how accurate is this pitch deck? Then yes, then now we can go inside and tune it and change the data that we need to change. But the majority of the work is done. 90% of the work is done for us, Look, ambitious yet achievable projections. Of course, we had to change this title, right? Revenue, etc. 2024, 2 million, 2025, 8.5 million, Proven team, here we have to enter our details. 8 million series, a fuel for hypergrowth. It's also thinking about how we're going to spend this money, you see? How are we going to spend this 8 million? And it's described here, so we can change this slide to fit our needs. Join us in transforming SMB finance. You see, there's a much more compelling and engaging pitch deck, and I let you come up with your own opinions on which deck was a smart deck and which one was a bit dumber, okay? So keep that in mind, use smart prompts. We're going to see another couple of examples in the upcoming lectures.